What's up, YouTube? I'm Super Dana Shoe Man. I'm back with another video today. Hang on, I gotta get my knife. This is a little different video than I normally make. I guess I've made some kind of like this, but not quite, because I'm a little unhappy with what StockX has been doing to me lately. Before we go any further, though, before we get into the shoes and before we get to talking about StockX, a word from our sponsor. Peyton, who is our sponsor?
Jesus.
Jesus. Matthew chapter 27, verse 46. Jesus was hanging from the cross. He looks up to heaven and he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus was being crucified. He was dying. He was being tortured. And at that point, he felt, and in fact, he was being forsaken by God. Hebrews 13:5 says that God will never leave us or forsake us. And why would he forsake his own son if he's not going to forsake us? Well, that's exactly why Jesus took that forsaking, so that we don't have to. Jesus took the forsaking when he didn't deserve any of it, and paid that for us. So even though we deserve to be forsaken, we will not be, as long as we trust that Jesus paid. So thank you, Jesus, for that sponsor. All right, let's get into the shoe. Y'all have seen this shoe. I made the video on this shoe a long time ago, but I sent this to StockX. So I think you're going to see the thumbnail on this video, and the title says tips for buying or for selling actually on StockX, and then the thumbnail says don't. I believe I'm done. Isaac told me he's been selling on another platform, and I think I'm gonna do that. Generally, I get a little bit more money, like just a few percent more, like less than 5%, which in general is less than $10 when I sell on StockX versus Goat. But he's got a different one, and I've never sold on eBay. I could. And I may sell some of my used shoes, like that one. That one needs to go. I've worn that one twice. I've had it for like 2 years. So, but I just want to show you really quick. This came from StockX. You see StockX? You see it right here?
Where? Oh yeah.
Right beside my thing. All right. And this is an unopened box. I haven't opened this since I got it back from StockX. I made another video. I recorded another video similar to this one, but I'm not going to publish it. I have this shoe here though, that I made that video on. It's this one, and it's just going to go with this video because I think I've learned a little bit more since I made that other video. So
Bubbles.
Bubble wrap. All right, I'm going to reuse this box. All right, so I sold this shoe and this shoe on StockX several weeks ago. This one came back, and then this one came back too. They actually, I don't know why, this one went to somewhere in New Jersey. All the other ones go to Lithia Springs, Georgia, which is actually right down the street from my house. It's not far at all. And every other shoe, I think I sold 5 other shoes, 6 total shoes that day went to Georgia. This one went to New Jersey. It went all over the place first. Finally got there, and it actually sat for a few days before it was even authenticated. Although it didn't get authenticated, it failed. They didn't say that it was fake. They said that it had a manufacturer's flaw, as they said with this one.
You sure just didn't get dented while you're traveling it so far?
No, that's not what it is. The box is fine. But this is the Air Jordan 4 Retro White, Black, Neutral Gray. Air Jordan 4, and funnily enough, this is the Air Jordan 4 White, Black, Neutral Gray. These are the military black Jordan 4s. This is my pair and Trent's pair. This shoe is worth almost $400, if not a little bit more. And we got these when they came out on release day. I waited to wear mine. I never put mine on, so these are still dead stock, until Trent was able to fit into his. That was what I planned on, but he actually outgrew his and never wore them, as also happened with the Travis Scott Air Max Wheats, which I also tried to sell the same day, because he, like I said, he outgrew them. He's wearing 5Cs or 6Cs, 5 and 6C maybe right now, and these are 2Cs. So he outgrew these. I never on dead stock mine. I never put mine on, including my Wheats, my Air Maxes, my Travis Scott Air Maxes. I did actually sell my Air Maxes. They got authenticated just fine. But these two that I sold came back. This one I didn't sell, and I'm going to tell you why. And I actually had that problem with a lot of these. So again, my overall comment here is don't sell. My overall tip for selling on StockX is don't. But tip number 1, all 3 of these shoes that you see here, at least, and I sold 6 that day. I sold a Dunk. I sold, I don't know what else, my Air Maxes, and a couple more. All 3 of these though, and maybe one more, I went for the sell it now price, because that's what I do. I just go sell it now because I want to get it out. Like, I plan on the next morning going to UPS to ship everything. I don't want to go tomorrow and just whenever something happens to sell for the price I have it listed at. So I just decide if I'm going to sell it for that highest bid, and then I sell it. All right. So what I think is happening here, though, is a lot of people have their cards in and bids in, and they just leave them for a long time, because I did this a lot in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Now we're here in 2024. I don't sell nearly as much. And it's also that sales are down overall. Prices, we know overall for shoes are way down, and things aren't selling out now in the stores, and most new releases are not worth more after release day than they were before. The Jordan 4 Military Black and the Air Max, Travis Scott Air Max, those are still worth quite a bit more than retail, but that's because they were then as well. These Military Blacks today, the Military Blues are barely going over retail, so Military Blacks probably wouldn't be either if they release now. But they are still going for more, and that's why I decided to sell them. But I think these people that have bids in, put their bids in, and they forget about the bids they have. They might set it to, I don't know how long, you can set how long it is, how long your bid stays active for, and I think they just set it because, like I said, all three of these, I chose to sell it now, and then it failed. I couldn't tell exactly what was happening the first couple times that it happened, but it said the highest bid for your shoe has changed. Please go back and redo the sale or something like that. But that's because I realized that's because they're running the person's card for their bid and it's declining. So tip number one, aside from don't sell on StockX, is sell on Fridays. Why would you sell on Friday, Peyton? She don't know anything about this. Maybe you also sell on the 1st of the month. Maybe also sell on the 15th or the 14th of the month. Payday. People's cards, most of these people probably have debit cards in there, and they don't have any money in their account, and StockX goes to charge them for the bid that they placed, because I just met that bid with my sale. They're declining because they don't have any money. So that's why I didn't sell this one. I even attempt to sell this one at all, because the next highest bid was like $30 less, and when we're talking about a $60 shoe, that was pretty significant, and I didn't want to do it at the time. This one, like I said, the same thing happened, and this one, the same thing happened too. So do it on Fridays, maybe Friday morning, maybe Friday afternoon. I don't know exactly, maybe even Saturdays, but the 1st and the 14th might, because I'm assuming these people, the people that are using the card that they probably don't have, or that they clearly don't have the money in, they're waiting on a payday. So that was the first thing that happened. So I'm sure that a lot of you who watch these videos also have StockX accounts, if for nothing else, just to look if you haven't bought anything. One of the things that StockX does is it's weekly, bi-weekly, maybe monthly. Sometimes it's more frequently than others. They offer shoes for $1, and it's just like you enter for the chance to win the shoes. You place a $1 bid. Peyton made a face like, huh? You don't actually get you don't just go buy a pair of shoes for $1, but if you win, like it would be a pair of Military Blacks that are worth a few $100, and you go place a bid, and then you hope that you win. Everybody places the $1 bid, so it's just like a sweepstakes, a raffle, and you don't have to pay anything if you don't get in. I do that almost all the time with my saved card that's been in there for years, and I've done that several times already this year. It's May now, June, and when I sold these were at the beginning of May. I think I bought my last pair of shoes in March or April, so it hasn't been long, but definitely it was only a week or two before I placed all these for sale that I put the $1 bid in. So I'm actually placing bids, and when I put all 6 of the shoes that I had for sale that night, StockX charged me $15 to my card. Wow. I haven't read this on StockX before, but when I asked them about it, they pointed me to it, that sometimes randomly StockX will put a $15 charge on your card, $15, mind you, and that's what the frequently asked question says, just to make sure your card is still good, like you didn't cancel the card or something like that. Why they would do it to me when I'm selling 6 shoes, as opposed to the times that I have bid on shoes. I even bought a pair of shoes just a month or two before this happened, but they decided to do it when I put these up for sale.
Maybe it's not like people, it's just like a computer thing, just sending it out to everyone.
It is random, but it's not like somebody saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna charge this person. I'm sure it's not, but they have to have triggers, like their computer system has triggers that say attempt to charge this person. And the trigger should definitely not be that I tried to sell things. And the trigger should definitely be reset if I just bought things. Or maybe the trigger should happen when I'm actually placing a bid on something. Because they should make sure that my card actually works. Anyways, this is the first shoe that was not authenticated. Again, this is due to manufacturer's flaws. And it was this shoe right here. Again, this is the military black Jordan 4. And it was because of this stitch. This stitch. Generally, grade school Jordans are gonna have more flaws than the bigs.
They're tiny.
But these aren't even grade school. These are freaking toddlers. And actually, both of these stitches are a little bit off right here. But this is the one they took the picture of. Now, guess what happened when they said, this is no good, we're sending it back to you?
Charge you $15.
They charged me $15. Basically for wasting their time. I mean, if you send them a piece of crap, they should charge you $15 for it, because, or however much, some amount, because you sent it to them, they paid for the shipping, and now they got to send it back to you. So
they still pay for the shipping.
But it's like, this is a 2C. I've had this shoe sitting here forever. I got it from Nike. The grade schools we know have more quality issues than the normal men's sizes. And now, what do we know about baby shoes? Well, they're going to have some issues too. All right, well, I was like, whatever. You know, I got to pay $15 for this shoe that I tried to sell for like $80. And now I got to pay $15 for it. I was like, whatever. So then I get a notification from another one of my items that I shipped. It was a dunk that I shipped. I don't have it here because I just chose to sell the wrong shoe, the wrong size. It was a women's 8, and I sold it as a women's 9.5. Why? I don't know. I mean, that was a mix-up. It's my fault. Are you pointing that at me? It feels like you're pointing over this way. Okay. It was my fault. I chose the wrong one. So they just said, we're charging you $15 because you sent the wrong thing. I know I did, but I mean, I sold this shoe for like $60. I mean, it was a dunk that I've had forever that it has no hype anymore, so nobody really wants to pay for it. I was like, I just need to get rid of this thing. And they charged me $15 to send it back to me. Why they couldn't charge me like $8, half of that, or $7 or whatever, and then say, do you just want to sell it for the sell it now price, for the sell it now price of the correct size, and just keep it and not pay to ship it back to me? That would have been so much easier for me, and I would have absolutely done it. But whatever. That one was my fault. They charged me another $15. Now we're coming to this one that I haven't actually looked at yet, but I did see the picture of why they didn't authenticate it. And they said, because you have a great account, we're not going to charge you $15. I mean, I appreciate them not charging me $15, but why are you not charging me $15? You just charged me for this stupid stitch. You charged me, maybe rightly so, maybe you should have something else involved, but you charged me because I just sent you the wrong thing. Why are you not charging me for this? Because you just pick and choose when you want to charge, and when you decide it's time to start charging people because we're running short on funds, you're just going to go random. It's not random, I don't think. But then you're going to go charge them $15 to make sure their card works. Now we know their card works. Let's charge them a real $15. So the original $15 charge did fall off, but the other two went through. So anyways, I got to take a look at this because I need to see what I think about why they sent me this back.
It's probably something dumb.
Okay, it's not this one. I don't think. It's this. Now, they sent me this picture. Can you see it?
That little like scuff.
Yeah, the little scuff. They sent me this picture, and I'm thinking this is just it's like some oil or something, and it'll wipe right off. If this wipes right off, I mean, like they didn't charge me for it, but
Wipes right off.
no, it's definitely a scuff. Where this came from, I have no idea. I mean, you can tell from the bottom of this, it's never been worn.
Did you tell them that it was never worn?
They don't have to be told. They can look at it. I've never even pulled the laces out. The laces are still tucked up under there like this. They did this because I did not do this. And this stupid little scuff.
They probably did it.
Huh?
They probably did it.
It's possible. I mean, this shoe has been sitting, I don't know where I had it, right up here for a year. When did this thing get made? This was made in 2020, 2021, the end of 2021, 2022, and it's now 2024. So this shoe's been sitting here for almost 2 years. Actually, it has. I made the video on it 2 years ago because I wanted to see if I had any close-ups of this in the video. I don't know how, but I never put this in that video at all. So I was worried, like, they're saying this thing has manufacturer's flaws, but this thing's been sitting here forever. And like maybe they're sending me back some shoe that I didn't send them. I doubt that, but it's possible. And it's possible that they had some 11 sitting around with a smudge on it and they were like, nope, yours is bad. Let me send it back to you. That's why. Just don't. StockX, just don't. If you're going to, do it on Friday. I think that was the only tip I was going to have. I had thought about listing out these tips, and then when they sent me this back, I was like, no, I'm done. StockX, I'm done. I'm going to pick and choose, and like this little bitty scuff. And apparently it is a manufacturer's flaw. I didn't do it. It does not wipe right off. I could try with maybe some acetone or something, but then I might take some paint off too, because you can't feel it. It's not that kind of a scuff. It's not a divot. It's not scratched.
It's just like a mark.
It could just be some oil or something. I would think that the oil would move a little bit. I can look back at my video now to see if my old video to see if this is here. But
I
again,
don't think it did.
I'm just done with StockX. I'm just done. Like, what are y'all doing, StockX? You're gonna pick and choose when you want to send me $15. When you decide, hey, it's time to start making some money, we're gonna start sending things back, and we're gonna get. I mean, it did not take $15 for me to ship this anywhere, even twice. So, yeah, I'm just done. Wasting my time. Should have had these sold. I'm gonna end up taking these, probably just taking them up to the one close by resale shop that's still open and seeing what they'll do. But what other? I must have had some other tips for selling on StockX. I think that was it. Do it on Fridays. People's cards are going to decline. If your card doesn't decline, they're just going to charge you $15 and for some stupid reason. If y'all comment down below if you've been selling on StockX for a while, if they would have sent these back. A stitch and a smudge. I've never had a shoe come back from StockX as manufacturer flaws. And I've sold tens of thousands of dollars worth of shoes on StockX. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of shoes on StockX, and I have never had one come back with manufacturer's flaws. I take that back. There was one. The Jordan 6 Carmine with the red soles. You remember those?
No.
They were a white and red shoe, and the bottom was like icy, but the red was bleeding into the icy rubber. They did send those back and said that they were no good, but then I think I ended up selling them through Goat, and Goat didn't care. So
if it's a manufacturing flaw, why are they charging you? Why don't they charge the factory?
How do they charge the factory? They're buying the shoe from me. They can't charge
Could they just
Nike.
look at the inside the shoe?
And then they're going to say, hey, Nike, you messed this up. This isn't even my shoe. I didn't even buy it from you. I could send this back to Nike and say, hey, this is no good. Give me my money back. And they'll give me my money back. But I can still sell, even if this is a significant manufacturer flaw that someone might actually really care about. I mean, maybe they'll care about this, but probably nobody's even going to see it because I didn't see it. But even if it was a fairly significant manufacturer flaw, this shoe is still worth more than what I paid for it because it's going to sell for at least $350, and I paid like $220 something. So I don't want Nike to pay me back. I don't want them to I'm not going to charge them $15. The reason why they charge $15 is because they paid for me to ship it to them, then they had to pay to ship it back. So I understand with an actual real flaw, they should do that.
Why don't they ship it back? They can just give it to someone. Like some other.
I want my shoe back.
Oh.
They're not paying me for it. What? Do you think they're going to pay me for it and like pay me the $300 something and just send it back to me and say we're going to pay you for it and we're going to give it back to you? Mm-hmm. Well, then I'd have absolutely no problem with them charging me $15. They don't pay me for it, and instead they just send me the shoe back and charge me $30 for these, at least, not for the other ones. Not for these. They didn't charge me. They were so gracious. So, again, I'm just not going to do it. But y'all let me know if you've encountered anything as petty as both of these things, as far as them sending them back. And if so, is it more recent in the last year or so, or were they doing this in 2020, 2021, and 2022? Because like I said, tens of thousands of dollars, never had any issue like this except for the Carmines that were just known to have significant flaws all around. When I bought those Carmines, I opened them in the store, I got them at Hibbett, and looked at them and I asked if they had another one. They just said no. I'm sure they had more back there. They just knew they were all pretty much the same. So again, biggest tip for selling on StockX, don't. go somewhere else. I'll get back with you as soon as I check back with Isaac and decide if I'm going to sell on another platform and let you know how I feel about that process. I do like StockX for a lot of reasons, and now I just don't care. So, goodbye, StockX. Peace. It was nice doing business with you, but I'm done. Smash that like button if you learned anything about StockX, or if you've encountered any issue like this or not. You can just smash the like button anyway. Tell your grandma not to order on StockX because I'm done too ordering. Comment down below and let me know when these started happening with you, and I'll see you next time.
You're so pretty.
Say bye.
Cheers. Ah! Shoes.
And I like shoes.